Thank you, Michelle. So our next speaker will give us a different perspective. A different perspective on all the challenges we've been discussing, and it's an important one. It's that of a health insurer. Please welcome to the stage Christian Schmidt de la Brele, CEO of Clicia. And just for English speakers like me, Christian will be speaking in French, so please have your headsets ready.
Thank you, Andrew. I do apologize because I've got a real horrible English accent, so I will speak in French. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So let's speak French a little bit in this wonderful assembly here. So this might wake a few people up before the important ceremony organised by the creators of BIOVISION. So this is an absolutely wonderful event. And above all, I'd like to thank you, creators and founders, particularly Alain Mérieux and Didier Hoche, for having organised us and invited an insurance company here for this concluding session and to talk about the health system. This is a good opportunity to exchange with the producers of care, so the pharma companies, and also us, because we are part of the French system, and our French system is based on solidarity, and 70% of the health expenditure is funded by the general regime in France, but 30%, and maybe increasingly so, is incurred by the complementary insurance companies. So in this respect, out of this 30%, you should bear in mind that the large majority of complementary insurance companies are non-profit organizations. There are two main families, in fact. So we have the mutual funds, and also we have the providence institutions, such as our group, Clicia. So our job consists in protecting certain sectors of activity, and it's a great pleasure for us to protect, not only when it comes to management of complementary retirement and health insurance. So we protect health professionals as well, particularly health transport systems, health transport companies, also medical analysis laboratories, and the chemists and pharmacies that we protect in our regime. So on this particular subject, if we're talking about growth and innovation, it's quite easy to understand that health expenditure accounts for about 12 to 13% of the GDP in France, and much more so, in fact, in the United States. But at the end of the day, health, which is maybe the third export market in France after Airbus and the automotive industry. The health industry has three factors which explain why this market is growing, in fact. First of all, people are living older and older, and therefore they're getting sicker and sicker. The second factor is the fact, well, it's quite a simple fact, in fact, the fact that the cost of access to health care might be higher than it was in the past today, thanks to the improvement in technologies, so that we can screen and detect pathologies. In the past, we used to use ECG machines, and now we use scanners and MRI systems, and obviously this costs a little bit more. And the third factor is the fact that we all have, and next year we'll all have even more than this year, we'll all be concerned about the protection of our property and the protection of our people, and this is the third cubic factor, if you like. So this is the third factor which explains the growth of this health market. So we know that today, after the de-reimbursement and the general regime, we know that for financial backers such as us on this health market, if we have seen zero growth, or let's say today or last year, the health insurance market is naturally growing by 5% a year. So this is an opportunity for us. It might seem a bit cynical, but nonetheless, it is quite a promising sector, in fact, and quite a buoyant sector. There are certain limitations to this, and here I'm very happy about the fact that we're insurance, but also that we have some health producers here at this forum with us, because we do have to work together, really. And although our expenditure is increasing, at one point in time the health budget will not be able to make way for other budgets, and therefore we have to make sure that we find innovation in our markets and find subjects that we, as the financial backers, are very interested in. One source of innovation, which is maybe for the longer term, is more control over data, health data. And when I talk about control over health data, this means we have to control innovative processes, and this should enable us to have more efficient work and therefore provide more coverage for the risks that we're supposed to protect in the health insurance sector. And secondly, I think we could focus on the fact that in some cases we should eradicate some of these pathologies. And here we see the link that we have as complementary insurance companies and the need for us to invest or help invest in research so as to eradicate diseases and pathologies. And this might seem quite altruistic as an aim for us, but at Clesia we're one of the leading funders of public-private partnerships in the Bone Marrow Institute in Paris, for example. So our philosophy is that as complementary health insurers, if we are able to remedy the cost of complementary insurance, obviously we have to try and eradicate the disease, and this will limit our costs. And also we could think about innovation through prevention, and we are working on rather basic prevention systems, so it's not necessarily very sexy or very bling-bling, as we say in France, but we are working with a big operator on vaccines in Lyon, which you probably know whom I'm referring to here. And we are working on the next winter campaign, and we want to disseminate an awareness-raising campaign for all of the people that we serve in Clesia. So we work for hundreds of companies. So obviously our logic or our philosophy is rather simple, because if we work on prevention, and if we are able to vaccinate a maximum number of people, obviously this means that our employees will become more productive and they'll feel better in the company. And also the company won't have any people who go off work because they're sick. And this protects, in turn, the SMEs. For example, in a company canteen, on average, well, in some cases you only have 4 people who work there, and if one person is missing from the canteen, then you have 25% people less working in the canteen, and this poses problems. So we have to work on prevention through all of the investments that we're doing with transport companies. So the idea is to minimize the consequences of any problems in the transport system as well, because we have to protect road haulage companies who are involved in the medical system, and we're thinking about installing defibrillators in all of these vehicles, road haulage company vehicles, and it should be natural on the part of our citizens. For example, if somebody sees somebody suffering from a heart attack and they see a truck driving past, they should, well, I know that in this truck there's going to be defibrillator, or in a bus there's going to be defibrillator. So these are types of innovative projects that we're working on. And we work as insurers with the pharmaceutical companies. So we're working on different forms of innovation so as to make sure that we really do promote prevention, because prevention is extremely important. And the idea is not necessarily for us to live older and older, but to live older and older but less and less sick when we get old. Our market objectives shouldn't prevent us from achieving this aim as well. So this is why we're working with different companies. We're working with the pharmaceutical companies, particularly on issues such as the interaction of drugs for our pensioners. We pay a lot of pensions to our companies who are members of our insurance system. And you know that there are 128,000 people admitted to hospital per year among our pensioners. So obviously we have to find a solution for this, and it might seem quite commonplace or quite obvious to you, but if we can avoid any problems with the medical interaction or the interaction between the patient and medical drugs, then this can prevent us spending a lot of money. So we have a very noble mission, which is to fund complementary health insurance, but at the same time, this doesn't prevent us from working with pharmaceutical companies so as to help grow our health industry as well. And in the French dictionary, we used to have next to the word insurance, we used to have the word thief next to the word insurer. Everyone thinks insurance companies are thieves, but we don't want to be considered thieves anymore, because in fact we are there to protect the population as well, and we work hand in hand with the pharmaceutical industry so as to make sure that we protect our increasingly old population, but a population which is less and less sick.